All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for the final reaction of the day. And I am on time. Let's begin with more Sakamoto Days and see if this is the chapter that leads us out of Shin and Sakamoto's flashback. Yo, peoples! Qushu 92 here, and welcome back to more Sakamoto Days. Took a lunch break before I started. I feel good. Full of food and ready to give my final reaction for the final manga chapter for today. So, let's begin with chapter 202. Because in the last one, we got Akira, who falls on top of Ando, and in her fury, she lashes out against Shin, but despite Ando saying that he wanted nothing to do with Shin, despite all of that, Ando somehow finds himself shielding Shin with his own body, potentially mortally wounding him. And Shin wondering, wait, I thought you hated me. And even Ando can't even fully contemplate why his body decided to move on its own. So, as a last gesture before he, eventually bleeds out, because he is bleeding out, as he's bleeding out, he says he's going to stay alive long enough for Sakamoto to take care of the other bomb that's on the ship before he dies. And mind you, he doesn't outwardly say you're a good kid or you did good. He doesn't outwardly say this. Shin reads it in his mind. And when his father momentarily falls unconscious, Shin gets upset that his father doesn't actually say that to him. So now we're in a situation where Shin wanted to stay, Sakamoto told Shin to stay with his dad, despite Sakamoto not really having parents to, look towards or even feeling anything towards the whole familial thing. He still has enough of a heart to realize that this is Shin's final moments with his own father. So he decides, you know what? You go ahead and you be with your dad. But then Ando says, no, you go with him. I'll stay alive long enough so you can take care of these bombs. So, now we begin with Days 202. Last chance. And Sakamoto is already running, but Shin screams out,
Hey, Hitman!
You're coming?
We've got a situation on our hands. My dad just told me about the explosives.
Huh?
There isn't just one bomb. They're in the engine room, the freight room, the guest rooms, the Great Hall. They're all over the boat.
So it wasn't just one bomb. He made sure that if he got caught, he was going to take everybody with him. And then Sakamoto then thinks about when Ando says, if I die, it explodes. Ando's life is hanging by a thread. We don't have time to look for the bombs all over the ship. So... And then there's a foom sound on the whole ship.
Yikes! What's going on? The ship's shaking!
And all of the people who are on the ship are looking as the ship is forcibly shaking all over. And then we get Akira.
This is the worst day of my life. But I refuse to let Mr. Ando die.
Stop! If someone's injured, there's a doctor's office on the boat.
No, he needs an ICU. Back to land, full speed.
Because Akira has basically ran onto the deck of the ship, into the bridge. She's run into the ship's bridge, and she's taking control of the ship, and she's forcing it to try and go back on land.
That nutjob's going berserk on the bridge.
He's as determined as he is dumb. Oh, it's a dude. Here I thought that Akira. No, not Akira. Why am I? It's not Akira. It's Ikari. Here I was thinking that Ikari was a lady. It was hard to tell. I told you it was hard to tell. Can't blame that on me. Told you it was hard to tell.
That nutjob's going berserk on the bridge.
He's as determined as he is dumb.
This is bad. We're gonna crash into the port.
What? And then Akira is going full speed ahead. Nobody can stop me! And Sakamoto comes in and immediately chokes out Akira and knocks him out. Him. Knocks him out. And then the crewmates... No, then actually... Full speed ahead! Nobody can stop me! And then Sakamoto comes in and then Sakamoto just goes, die. And did he kill Akira? Ikari? I think he killed Ikari. Cause this is Sakamoto before he stops killing because of Aoi. But we just get a crack, and then Ikari is just laying on the ground. Thank you. Quick, take the controls. The steering system's busted. We can't change our course or stop the engines. Now what? And it shows some people fishing on the port.
Huh? Is that ship headed right for us?
And one person's walking his dog going, poopy time? And right behind him, the ship just breaks. And mind you, this person's walking on a solid concrete makeshift bridge that is, in the water. And while he's walking, that cruise ship just tears through it. And it just keeps going forward. Then some dude opens up his apartment window and goes, Aah! Opens his eyes, and he sees the ship flowing into basically the canal outside of his house. Am I still dreaming? And then we get to Ando. What the heck is that hitman doing? Darn it. Can't hold out any longer.
Oh, crap! There's a bridge up ahead!
And it shows some people walking on the bridge. Huh? That's a big boat! It's coming straight for us!
Oh, no!
And then Sakamoto looks up. And there's a police helicopter above him.
This is the police! Stop the ship immediately! I repeat!
I have an idea.
Wait! You can't be serious!
And Sakamoto takes the same anchor weapon that Ikari used, starts spinning it, and slings it. He slings it at the helicopter and yanks the helicopter out of the... Stop! What do you mean he's strong enough to yank a helicopter out of the air? What do you mean? What do you mean? He just takes the anchor and then hits it into the helicopter and pulls it down in front of the ship. And then Sakamoto gets inside of the helicopter. We crashed. I need to borrow this. And he gets the helicopter pilot out, and he turns the helicopter on, and he starts turning the rotors on full tilt as it gets closer and closer to the bridge.
Ah, it's going to hit us!
And Sakamoto's is still there with the helicopter because it's positioned perfectly in front of the boat. It's not being pushed aside because of water. It's just perfectly right there.
Yeah, we're slowing down!
And it shows the bridge slowing, it shows the ship slowing down before it actually hits the bridge. And everyone in the ship going, we stopped! Come on and hurry up. It's all going blurry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ship is about to explode! Everyone, get off!
Explode? Was that a kid? Yikes! And then the bridge comes down and everyone starts to make their way off of the ship. And Sakamoto gets the helicopter pilot out of the water.
Hurry! If you can't make it in time, just jump into the river!
And then everyone's screaming. And Shin is listening for his father.
If the ship's still okay, that means my dad's still alive. This is probably my last chance to talk to my dad.
And all of a sudden, all these thoughts starts popping into Shin's head.
Ah!
Oh, my leg hurts. I can't move. Oh, wait.
Oh, my leg hurts. I can't move. I'm scared. A child's voice? And they're injured.
And Shin is looking back towards where his dad is supposed to be, but he goes in a completely opposite direction. Sorry, my life was garbage, but...
Not yet. I'm not dying yet.
Not yet. I'm not dying yet. Not until I see him. And it shows Shin appearing to get off of the ship with the child on his back. And then he just opens his eye as Shin looks back. Shin looks back with tears in his eyes, and his father, Ando, looks down at him from the window as he just goes, live. And inside of Shin's head, he can hear those same words, live. And it shows Sakamoto in the water, and then Ando goes still. He goes still, his eyes go hazy, and then the ship explodes everywhere. Wow, to think that this father that despised him so much, would, one, not put his own life in danger by protecting his son from Ikari, who we officially find out is a dude now, but he also told his son to live, even though he physically couldn't, say that to him. And those are the last words Shin's father ever said to him before the ship explodes because Ando died. So, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, shall we? Why is Sakamoto able to pull the helicopter out of the air? It's one thing for him to be strong enough to just wield this. Well, I'm not surprised by him wielding an anchor and spinning it around like it's a child's toy. But I am utterly shocked that this man took not only a heavy anchor. Anchors are supposed to hold ships in place. Boats are heavier than people. The boats I know are heavier than people, especially ones that have an anchor that big. The thing that they're supposed to be heavy enough to keep a ship held in place. And Sakamoto is just spinning it like it's a skip it. And then he brings an entire helicopter down, slams it into the water, and then turns the helicopter's blades on full tilt so it can stop the ship from crashing into the city. You would think I would be used to this sort of nonsense from Sakamoto's ace. You would think I'd be used to it, but I'm not. I'm not. Because Sakamoto Days is going to keep showing me ridiculous stuff that people are doing, and I'm just going to be thinking, how? We got a dude strong enough to throw his wife so high in the air, she literally sails over a bridge. As the ship underneath is passing under, he's strong enough where he can basically launch himself high into the air, faster than cars. This is the same world where people are capable of having their bodies cut into and just straight up ignoring it. A dude who can cut clean through his own arm and then reattach it because the cut is so clean. Strong enough to just basically take random sports gear, and turn it into projectile weaponry. We got people so strong they can literally rip cars apart, get slammed into cars, respond just simply ow without an ounce of blood. Someone so strong that they can use an arrow that can go through a person's body, straight through it multiple times, and still find its way embedded into a wall. This is the world of Sakamoto Days, and it's just ridiculous that these are supposed to be normal people. See, this isn't like One Punch Man, where people have powers that afford them to have this level of strength. These are people who just trained. Ain't no supernatural powers, ain't no magic, nothing except, Shin's ESP, and that's because he drunk some crazy lab tonic that allowed him to read minds. It was just a science experiment, but just when you think there's something crazy in Sakamoto Days and you think they couldn't do anything further, now you got Sakamoto strong enough to pull a helicopter out of the air. This effectively makes him stronger than Captain America because Captain America, and then mind you, I'm only going I'm going off of that one display where Captain America was trying to hold on to the ship that Bucky, trying to hold on to the helicopter that Bucky was trying to escape from, and he was just holding on with both of his arms. But Sakamoto is strong enough to literally yank a helicopter out of the air with just his strength alone. The world of Sakamoto Days is crazy. But another thing to really bring up in this conversation is how Ikari was basically willing to destroy the ship that they were on just for him to get Ando back. Once again, we find out Ikari is a dude. Just so he can save Mr. Ando's life, but at the expense of basically everyone on the ship. He was willing to destroy the ship and just put everyone's life to the side if it meant saving Ando. So Sakamoto, he says die, but I can't tell, you know, how many times I've seen Sakamoto crack someone's neck and they turn out to be fine. This is Sakamoto before he met Aoi and made a vow of not killing people. So part of me thinks that Ikari is just straight up dead. He just snapped his neck. Sakamoto just snapped his neck and killed him. Because I don't think he knocked out Ikari. I think Ikari is long gone. That's a dead dude now. So Ikari was dealt with, and Sakamoto using a helicopter's rotor blades to literally slow an entire cruise ship down. I don't know how that works. You got to have a pretty powerful rotor, and you have to pull it on full blast. I don't even know if that's even feasible. That's just crazy. That's ridiculous. It's silly, but at the same time, it fits with the world of the Sakamoto Days, strangely enough. So everyone gets off the ship. Shin wants to take this opportunity to see his dad for the last time, but fate would have it that he instead has to go rescue a child instead of seeing his dad for the last time. And his father just says live and then thinks the word live, and Shin hears this. His father's final words is for him to live. And with tears in his eyes, Shin can only look up at his father, who's looking at him and smiling before passing away and the bombs going off across the entire ship. So, so much for me thinking that this chapter was going to end the flashback. We are still, if it's to be believed, the whole matter of Ando being an issue, that's now done and over with pretty much now. It's just over and done with. But now, I wonder if we're going to get like the aftermath flashback chapter, you know, like when all's said and done for the flashback, and then we move into the present where we get back to Sakamoto and Shin trying to save Tenkyu's life because Shin literally beat this Joker down. So it remains to be seen. But overall, this was a pretty good chapter. And seeing how Ando wasn't as completely heartless as he tried to make himself believe, even more so wishing for his son to just live, it shows that but it looks like Ando actually cared for his son. Sorry, I heard my phone go off. But yeah, I think I said everything I needed to do for this Sakamoto Days chapter. I tend to go through Sakamoto Days faster than One Piece, so apologies if I don't have like a ton to say. I mean, this was a pretty straightforward chapter. There wasn't any like secret hidden meanings. There wasn't like stuff that really deeply analyzed because I already went over it. These chapters just tend to be this way sometimes for Sakamoto. So we're not going on break either, which means either we get the ending of this flashback for the next chapter, or we get it after the next chapter next Sunday. We'll have to see. But I did like this chapter because at least Ando showed that he's far more a dad than him just being heartless. So that's something, and at least it gives something for Shin to strive for, to just live. So that's better than him just dying without being able to say anything to his son. So that counts for something. But overall, I thought this was a nice chapter and a pretty decent send-off for Ando, despite how he started out, trying to kill his son twice, but turns out he's actually a dad that cares for his son. Is just buried underneath, what the JAA has currently tried to do to him. It's unfortunate that Shin had to see his father for the last time this way, but such is the world of Sakamoto Days. The next life is not promised, especially for people you care for. Unless you're Sakamoto, in which your family will be just fine. But yeah, pretty decent chapter. Can't wait to see what the next one holds. I'm done, everybody. Time to rest the rest of the day. I'm just going to relax, finish my drink, and just sit back and relax. But all I can say to everyone here is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!